Hi, this is David with entry number 258, coming at you here in back in Gangneung. It's about 6 o'clock, and I'm walking obviously by the mighty river here. It's the sun is setting, and I just came out of literally just came out of um, seeing Godzilla, the new Godzilla film, and I thought I'd just do a quickie review, at least by the time it takes me to get back to the part where I need to cut back in. So, was the film good? Yes, yes, it was very good. Um, it was a bit like the old Godzilla films, in that it had a giant lizard that uh, was misunderstood. Uh, One thing that this film kind of did was they had one character who like immediately knew that the lizard was, or that Godzilla was good, and not like a creature just trying to destroy humanity for the sake of destroying humanity, which I liked, you know. And then it didn't. The one thing the film didn't really have was that kind of like hard-nosed military guy who just was like intent on the destruction of Godzilla. Normally there's like one guy who's like very adamant that Godzilla is like a creature of evil and that he must be destroyed for like the safety of man. And there really wasn't that kind of character in this film. It's just a lot of I think like the original Godzilla films, the ones from the 50s and early 60s, were primarily focused on like nuclear arms, like potential for evil and all that stuff, with like having Godzilla be like this, originally like a sign of the terrible things that nuclear experimentation can cause, and have it become like some kind of allegory for the almost like the evils of science and that kind of stuff. And then he kind of grew into like more of a thing for like prejudice and all that. And I thought that was pretty good. But this Godzilla was not exactly sure what if the director was going for like a certain like allegory for this one. It seemed a little more just like a straight on monster film, like a giant lizard fighting like other giant creatures. So I thought it was very good. The effects were extremely good, except in some parts they were a little shoddy, to be honest, but on the whole they were very good. Godzilla looked very sharp, very on point, and the monsters were pretty cool too. The film was sold, I mean, if you watch the trailers, as like a vehicle for Bryan Cranston, who's an actor from Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle and Seinfeld and stuff. But yeah, he really wasn't in the film, to be honest, that much. His character's arc was pivotal, but very short, much shorter than I anticipated. Overall, I thought it was, a very enjoyable movie. One of the things that I really like about these Korean cinemas is that they take their film stuff very seriously. Like, you get to pick your seat on the computer, and no one really steals seats. I saw a couple people do it today, but like people are very more civilized, and the theaters are very high quality. One thing that's a little annoying is that in the US, the curtains on the top and bottom of the projector screen, they'll move, because action films and comedies and this kind of things are shot on different aspect ratios still. So sometimes it's like a 6:9, and I think comedies are generally like more like 4:3, or pretty like square, chunky style. Korean cinemas just leave the black bars on the top because they're just digitally projecting everything. But so that's like a little nitpick, but it's not that big of a deal. The other really cool thing that these cinemas do here are they have projectors lined on the sides of the theater, so like on the top of the left side and the top of the right wall, and they project to the opposite side of the wall. So when you get commercials in the beginning, because they do show like a couple like Korean advertisements for not movies, really more for like products and like food, you'll see like the whole, it's like a panoramic experience where it sweeps from like one side of your head to the other, and but it's not like concave like you get with IMAX. It's more just like enveloping, because it just covers the entire walls, like all like a three screen set. The walls aren't really treated for projection, so it is projecting just onto red, but it still looks really cool. Like that, there's like 4 projectors that overlap the image, that like they have some kind of algorithm that kind of syncs it up so it doesn't look stupid. So I really like that. This, and they also crank the sound like outrageously loud. Like there's a few parts in the film when Godzilla does his roar, his famous roar, and it is like tremendous. Like the amount of noise and decibels that's coming out of the system is just like overpowering, just like consumes you. And you do get a lot of those like kind of like like badass kind of kick-ass moments with Godzilla fighting the monsters. I thought it was very well acted. There was another foreign guy sitting next to me, and he was laughing like constantly through the film whenever they brought up Godzilla's name or the monsters' names, which they call, like, they have an acronym that spells out MUTO, and they say Muto instead of MUTO, obviously. So every time they said it, he would just like bust out laughing. I didn't understand what was so funny about that, but I think maybe he was like a simpleton, or like, you know, just someone who's not really that I don't know, who finds names funny, you know. I don't know. So yeah, overall, there's a down here, there's like there's a school of little baby fish that are getting fed on by big carp or something, and they keep jumping out of the water. There's like a huge, you can't see it because of the camera and it's dark, but there's a whole bunch. Overall though, I would say definitely Godzilla 2014 edition is definitely worth your time, and would be a solid popcorn flick for any time. Yeah, highly enjoyable. Story was good, solid. Effects were solid. Acting was, on the whole, very solid. You had Bryan Cranston, like I said, Aaron Johnson, who's a British actor. That was another very small nitpick, was that his voice, he did an American accent because he's British, and his voice was very high, like very high. And Elizabeth Olsen, who's a younger sister to Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, who were famous identical twins from an American show called Full House, TV show. And and Ken Watanabe, who is very famous Japanese actor, not Japanese American, he's Japanese, and he's been in films like Last Samurai, Letters from Iwo Jima, and a whole lot of like obviously Japanese films. There was also some supporting actors that did a pretty good job for what they had to do with their character. But yeah, on the whole, I highly recommend checking out Godzilla. And yeah, also today was just a normal day. I got in at around 8 or 10:30 and just did grocery shopping, and then I cooked my stew for the week, and then I basically just prepared, you know, a little bit of lesson planning for next week, the end of next week. And then yeah, so it was a good solid day here in Gangneung. I'm very happy. Next week, you know, we'll see. Supposedly I get like a 3 or 4 day weekend in June, first week of June, so that will be cool. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching. This has been entry number 258, and I will speak with you tomorrow. Bye.